Thank you. Thank you. Wow, that's impossible to start a speech after such an introduction. But the good news is that I'm going to talk about what I feel at the moment about emotions. I'm super happy to be here. I'm super happy to be that the repetition war is in Riga now and for a long time, because I'm sure we'll be pleased to organize another one next year and another one. If you're interested by repetition war, by the way, there will be another one in Brussels in November and one in Paris at the beginning of January. This is the end of the promotion advertisement. So let's go to the presentation. I want to talk about the power of emotions, because the power of emotions is one of the reasons why I'm working so much on repetition. As I was saying this morning in my opening speech, the difference between communication and repetition is that when you think repetition, you think about the audience. When you think about communication, you think about yourself. When you think about repetition, in the word repetition, there is the other ones. So in fact, you cannot understand repetition if you do not consider your audience. So we're going to go through the power of emotions, and you will see why emotions are driving communication today. So what's the purpose? First of all, did I? Okay. We all belong to very emotional spaces, and this is something that is extremely part of our DNA in every human beings. We are all very emotional people. But on the top of it, there's something more with the emotions that human beings are having, is that we are sharing those emotions. Our emotions are nothing if we do not share them. We feel at every moment the need to share what we feel. And the good thing is that you will tell me this has nothing new. But in fact, there are three things to remember if you talk about emotions and the power of emotions. The first thing is that when you think of it, we have grown social media entirely on emotions. What are we doing on social media? We are sharing emotions. Think about the button, the like button on Facebook. This is an emotion. Like is an emotion. And in fact, we are all doing this because, in fact, on Facebook, we are just like, when you see something, when you see the picture of the Repetition War conference, a lot of people are saying, I like it. A lot of people are saying, they retweet, they like, they participate, they want to participate. So this is the first thing that you need to consider. The second thing that you need to consider is that we are spending our time sharing what we like. We do not, as the photo of Obama with Biden was showing, it's just it's just ridiculous. We cannot like something alone. We have to say to the entire world, to our community, I like this, you have to know that I like this. And we are spending days and days all the time to share what we like. And the third thing is that repetition is a social act. Repetition comes from a social element, from a social act. And in fact, repetition is nurtured by social interaction. And this is again a kind of difference between image and repetition. You can have a feeling about something, you can have an image, a company has an image, but the repetition comes from what you say, from what people share together and what people are doing together. So what will it change? Why is it so instrumental for repetition management? For one single reason, repetition is a recipe that is made of many elements. And let me share this. What constructs your repetition? Your repetition, or anybody's repetition, could be yours, could be mine, could be the company, the brand, or whatever. It's made of many things. Repetition is never something unique. is always a multi-channel stuff. So it's made on many, many insights. On the left side, you will have things that belongs to the kind of a rational kind of activity. This is your communication, what the media is saying about you, the way you behave, the way you are, your past, what you have done in the past, etc., etc. But on the right side, it's what your competitors are doing, what your competitors are saying about you. You will say, I'm the best, and the competitor will say, no, you're not the best. It will have an impact on the reputation. But it will be the impact of your reputation, it will be made as well on trends, beliefs, feeling, and personal experience. Just think about a website like TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor has dramatically changed the tourism in the world. Why? Because it's only based, usually, on personal experience. Fake or real, they try to be real, but most of it is personal experience. And just think about the responsibility of such a website that is totally changing the way the tourism, hotels, restaurants, cities, whatever, have their reputation built. Because in fact, people do not consider only the communication from the company, from the hotel, from the city. They are also considering real experience from real people. And in fact, they will believe that what is on the right side of the slide is more important, is more subject to trust. And people will trust more what they will see, the kind of stuff that you find on the right. And what is on the right, if not a collection of emotions? It may be not yours, but it's a collection of emotions. When you think about a trend, what is a trend? A trend is just the feeling that something is happening and you want to be part of it. What is a belief? A belief is that before you say anything, you have an idea of something. It is a feeling as well. So this is an emotion, and the emotion is super important because in fact it will construct the reputation. So what is the key for us who are communication professionals? When you say, okay, communication is not important anymore or not so important anymore, statements are not trusted anymore, so what do we do? Because you have to pay the bill, as someone was saying this morning, and in fact you need to find ways to be heard and to be trusted by your stakeholders. Could be citizen, consumer, it could be just your friends or your family or whatever. You need to be trusted. So what do we have to do? What is the key for that? The key for that is sharing. The most important part in this process, in reputation management, is sharing. And I'm going to give you an example of this. This is more or less, this is not a scientific picture, but it's just kind of a representation of what I believe is. We receive a lot of information, a lot of information every single moment. So what do? We, as human species, we select one of this information that we want to consider. So we select this information, and then we appreciate this information. If it's interesting, if it's not interesting, if we like it, if we have an interest, if we know somebody, if we know, if we have something that allows us to, if it's important or not, whatever. And then what we are doing, we are adding a personal contribution. Just like you see something happening in Riga, and if, as an example, I see one of my friends in Riga posting a photo of Riga next week, probably I will say, like an idiot, oh, I was there last week. This is a kind of a personal contribution, and so on. And I will give more information, more data, more insight about the beauty of the city or whatever. And then what I will do, I will be sharing this information. So, why this is important? Because in fact, the information has more power to be heard if it is shared. So when you define your PR strategy, communication strategy, etc., do not think, I have to communicate. Just think, how will it be shared? Because in fact, our objective and your objective is not anymore to let people know what you're doing. Is to throw your information in a place that it will be shared. So it's to reach the sharing moment. And in fact, this is the two worlds. On the left, you've got the old world, where we used to live in a world where the most important thing we had to do was to get the information out. And now, we still need to get the information out, but if we want to be heard, we hope the audience will be active by sharing the information. So it's a totally different world. It's a totally different industry. We are not anymore agents of dissemination, information dissemination. We need to create a movement. We need to create something that is strong. Because in fact, what's going on is that if you're not sharing this, the information will remain on the left and will not have a second life, if you allow me to say this. And what you have to do when you have something in mind, when you have a campaign, don't be happy just because the campaign is out and because you release the information. Just reach the next step, which is people will want to share it. And people will have an immediate desire to share it. So I'm going to give you two examples of this. Yes. It's a maximum example, a massive example of things that have been shared by emotions. And the first one is this example, this guy. You know this guy is Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams is a singer. And he was having a song in a movie, in a cartoon called Happy. And the song that you've seen, I don't know the title in English, but some may know. Who knows the title in English? Yes, the number 2. And it was the tune Happy. And the tune Happy was just a regular tune in a soundtrack, nothing happened. And then, as he was proud of this song, he decided to put this song on his own CD. So, on the 21st of November 13, he decided to issue his new album, with the song as a flagship song. And in fact, a team of French directors in Los Angeles decided to illustrate this song with a video called "We're Happy from LA." And what they've been doing, they've been creating a video where for 24 hours they were putting the song Happy, and then they were asking the people to sing and to dance and to whatever for 24 hours. So you were seeing a lot of people, regular guys in the streets and so on and so on. And look at what happened next. Can you launch the video, please?
Zero airplay, nothing. And the next thing you know, we put out the video on November 21st. All of a sudden, boom.
Boom.
I mean, when I say boom,
you mean
boom.
Yeah.
And we were like, what's happening? Okay, first of all, people are putting up their own videos.
Yeah.
It was like no longer my song.
Yeah. I think we actually have a tape. Can we roll the tape of that? When people started putting videos around the world of themselves getting happy. Slovakia, Portugal.
You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space.
Makes me cry too. Makes me cry too.
What's the thing with the happy stuff? As Gianni was saying earlier today, that you're losing control. We are losing control. This artist has lost totally control. What he explains to Oprah at the beginning of the TV is he explains, I've not done any advertisement. Just put the video online and then boom. You mean boom? Yes, I mean boom. And in fact, they've done nothing. Why? And Happy, this song, there's hundreds of videos of this from all over the world. You just have to connect on the website called We Are Happy From, and you will see all those videos. I think yesterday I went on the site to see if it was still open, and I think they have 1,500 videos of this from every part of the world. And what is it? This is an incredible example of emotional viral stuff. This, you put something, and for one reason, you don't even know why, people are getting it. And people are getting it because it's talking about an emotion. Happy is an emotion. And people are saying, okay, they are happy from LA, I want to be happy from Riga. There's one video from Riga. Not the best one, but one video from Riga. I'm sure you could do a much better job in this room, which will be the challenge of the next hour. I didn't tell you. No, I'm kidding. But in fact, it's fantastic. Really, there are people from Tehran, from Dubai, from very poor countries that are very incredible movies. So this is emotion sharing, and it works because it's emotion. Another example, because I promised it, is this one. Je suis Charlie. You all know what happened to Charlie Hebdo at the beginning of January. It was just a week before Reputation War conference in Paris. And so the attack on Charlie Hebdo was something at 10:30 in the morning. And at 11, just 36 minutes after the attack has been revealed, this guy, Joachim Ronsin, which is a French artistic director in France, decided to create this logo, Je suis Charlie. And he created this logo and put it online like this. He's got a Twitter on Twitter. He's got a very small Twitter account. He had on this time only 500 followers. And then he put it on logo. And this became, within a couple of hours, the #1 hashtag in the world, shared by millions of people all around the planet. And again, this is a demonstration of emotion sharing. The guy, I invited him to talk at Reputation War Paris, and he came and he explained. He says, I was not prepared to that kind of stuff. I was just creating something to express my own feeling. And you know why it has been successful, Je suis Charlie? Because it is talking about emotion, and it is also talking about myself. It starts by je, which means in France, I am, je suis. And in fact, when there's an emotion and you have the possibility to appropriate yourself the emotion, it works. So this is, I'm not going this will be my last advice. If you want to be successful now in today's communication, you have to understand one thing, is that emotions are fueling propagation. It's not information that is fueling propagation, it's emotion. So we need to provoke an emotion to get a message out. If your message is only an information, if your message is only something that you're giving like a stupid press release, it will never reach the people. So this is what you have to understand, that this is why emotions are so critical. For some people, it's bad news because they prefer to rely on information rather than on emotion. And I've got a lot of clients who say, it's ridiculous, those people that are shouting for an emotion. And I say, well, they are living spaces, they rely on emotion themselves. So in fact, if you want to be successful today, you need to provoke emotion in your audience. And this is exactly what Janet has done with Dagnia earlier. She has provoked an emotion, and the willing to share, the willing to comment, the willing to say, okay, it was a very inspiring touch. And in fact, you will follow Dagny on Facebook and Twitter, but I'm sure that's one moment when she will talk about reputation war experience, she will remember, oh, this presentation from Janet was really one of my preferred experiences, because it has generated something more emotional in her mind. So, apologies. Thank you.